Love cute and creative DIY ideas? In this video, you'll see simple handmade projects you can make at home. If you enjoy fun crafts and creative inspiration, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new DIY magic. And share this video with your friends who love crafting.
Love is just a weak of a word. We've gotta get inventing, something's gotta hit.
I simply stopped hanging out with people that just don't make me feel good. And instead, I spend time by myself working on things and doing things that emotionally fulfill me.
This is an easy DIY you could do this weekend. I just picked up these chair hooks from IKEA. They only come in black, and tip, they do not come with mounting hardware, so you will also need that. I just spray painted them a couple colors to see what looked best and tried them out on my wall. And it's so cute!
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know?
I got more. Oh, I'm so excited. This is my biggest piece. I'm making freaking Laura Palmer, dude.
Yay!
My finger, it hurts. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even joking. My finger hurts. Last piece, let's do this thing. Make a wish. Boom. Okay, let's just jump to it. Let's just cut to the chase. Oh. Look what I'm gonna probably do with it. Comedically large clothespins. I also got at Dollar Tree. Hang it like this. Oh my goodness.
On a random Sunday this year, I decided to make a fabric beetle made entirely from scraps. This was just a fun little project for myself, but little did I know how year-changing it would be for my business. I've done a bunch of workshops on how to make them, but also it was my highest viewed YouTube video this year. I've had so many people from around the world asking if they can teach their own bug beetle workshops, but also so many people have sent in pictures of their own scrappy bugs using my tutorials. And then we upgraded the kit in November and they are doing so well. So if there is one thing I am definitely taking into 2026, it's to be more bored. I only made the bug because I was bored on a Sunday and I looked at my wall and thought, hey, let's make something cool. Thank you so much for this year. I'm very excited for a scrappy 2026.
I fortunately do have the how hard can it be gene, and when I saw this DIY on TikTok, I thought, yep, I absolutely can do that. And so you best believe I was straight onto Amazon to get all of the supplies I needed to make this journal cover. And to be honest, I actually nailed it. To do this, you really don't need that much. Really, it's just 3 ingredients. You need some leather. This one I think is between 1.2 and 1.4 millimeters, a grommet kit, and some elastic. Now, don't be fooled by the grommets. They are very easy to do. And whilst I know a bunch of people have downloaded templates to do this, I honestly just mostly eyeballed it. For this cover, I actually only needed it to cover 1 journal. So that's why I only did 4 grommets to loop the thread through. If you wanted it to stack more than 1 journal, you just want to put an identical set next to it so that you can have a different elastic for each journal. The only bit I did slightly balls up was actually trimming the edges. And if I was going to do this again, I would definitely take a bit more time to round them off. Then to make the elastic that holds the whole bit together, you just put 2 grommets in the back, put 1 loop of elastic through and tie a knot. To finish mine off, I also added some star studs, but you can do whatever you like. Charms, gem, different color thread. It's totally customizable to you. Honestly, save yourself £300 and DIY it.
Welcome back to Cool Girl Crafts, where I show you guys a new craft to try. These Anthropologie mirror trays retailed from $50 to $100, which is absolutely insane. So I thought maybe we could do this on a budget. Now, this is for my girls who like to craft or even save a few dollars. If you got the money to buy these, so be it. You do you, girl, but for me, I think I could do this. Now, I only had colored baked clay to use, and if you remember the photos from the beginning, they're either apples or olives. Basically anything that is round would work. I decided with some blueberries. Now, I know what you're thinking, not all of them are blue, and that's because I ran out of clay, so I decided to paint them. And then I glossed them in the end to give them a good finished look. Now from here, I had to decide whether or not I want them in the inside or the outside on its frame. I could not decide which one looked better. Let me know if you thought otherwise. Anyways, this is how it ended up looking like. You could either use it as a tray or even a mirror. I recommend doing this. Bye! Welcome back to Cool Girl Crafts, where I show you guys a new craft to try. I saw these lanterns on Pinterest and thought they were so cool, so I decided to give this one a try. All this took was a recycled can, an LED tea light, scissors, an X-Acto knife, some string, tape, paint, and some beads. Now, I used a ruler to mark my points where I wanted to make my cuts on the can, but honestly, you probably don't even need to use all of what I used. You can just eye it as well. But with me, I always have to be a little extra, but that's okay too. You can make this lantern for your room or even hang up somewhere in a garden. I thought that would be really, really cool, but I don't have one, sadly. I originally wanted to do a stack of these, so 2 of them on the same string, but I couldn't find a second can. If you don't have any aluminum cans, you can use a plastic bottle as well. And this is what I loved about this DIY, is that it was from a recycled item. This was super easy to make. This is how it ended up looking like after I put the beads on and everything. I recommend making one ASAP. Thanks for watching, bye!
Let's custom build arches for our living room. We just bought a house and our living room kind of feels like one big white box, so welcome to episode 1 of adding character to our home. We love the look of archways and we thought it would be the perfect addition to our space to not only create depth but also to separate the dining area since our house doesn't have a formal dining room. We got quoted $3,000, so naturally we decided to do it ourselves. We built the frame out of lumber and then used a pencil and string to map out the arches on plywood before cutting them to fit the exact dimensions of the space. Full transparency, Moss did most of this, but I did help and served as the creative director. After attaching the plywood, we measured out and cut sheets of drywall to go on top of it, and then smeared joint compound over everything, which was actually so fun. While we waited for that to dry, we painted the back wall this burnt orange color to really make the arches pop, and the vision was finally starting to come together. But there was still so much to do. We added another coat of mud and then got to sanding, which created an insane amount of dust. And we wanted the arches to be a bit textured, so we didn't sand completely smooth. For the final touches, we added trim that matched the rest of the house and painted the arches a soft off-white. And here is the final result. This first project was so fun, but there's still so much work to be done to fully transform the space. We'll be building a custom bookshelf for the loft, adding more windows, and a wood panel ceiling. So stay tuned.
I think it's time for another DIY. I have been obsessed with these Jean-Pierre Lapine pens that I've seen come up all over Pinterest, and these are also a really fun eBay rabbit hole to go down. Some of these are so expensive but so beautiful. I chose a Mahjong Q1 Mini as the base for mine, and using this wet erase marker was very handy just to kind of plot out where I wanted all of these vintage glass cabochons to go. These are antique glass beads from Germany in the 1960s. I will put the shop in the description of this video. I think they're really beautiful. I did kind of ruin them a little bit because this E6000 was not the right glue choice. I had to remove all of this, redo it. I did it in epoxy. I really think you should just use super glue. That's from my market research. That is what I think you should do. I think it would work the best. Just use a pair of tweezers that you don't really care about, and go slowly so that you can get everything very nice and even. Now I am just filling up my pen with some diamine ink. It's antique copper. I think it writes beautifully. I actually really would recommend this pen. I think it is very nice in the hand. I am completely obsessed with how this turned out and desperately need to go write a love letter or something with it.
I got these used candles off of Amazon for my medieval style bedroom. I just wanted the room to feel really authentic with that warm candlelight everywhere. But upon looking at these, they just look a little too plastic to me and not very realistic. So I had this idea to take these actual candles that I got from Dollar Tree. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my stove ready and get a pot on top of it. And of course I'm gonna remove all the plastic from these candles because we do not want to melt down the plastic. And I'm just making sure that I am constantly stirring these candles. I'm just taking the hot wax and putting it directly into this plastic cup. I'm honestly kind of shocked that it didn't burn through the plastic cup, but hey, I'm not complaining. Now the idea is to dunk these fake candles into this candle wax and just kind of have like the candle wax drip down. That way it looks like these fake candles are actually melting versus just being a chunk of plastic or something, you know? And I'm actually kind of surprised this is working out pretty well. Now I'm unsure of the longevity or the durability of these, but I think it looks a lot better than the before. It actually looks real to me, so I'm happy with the results, especially because there's zero fire hazard with these candles. Of course, I needed to put some in my living room as well, and I'm just gonna casually put the remaining 50 candles in my bedroom. Do you think my bedroom needed these candles, or is it a little bit too much? Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Saw this picture frame and I thought it was freaking gorgeous. I'm making one. Dollar Tree. Alphabet beads, also Dollar Tree. And then I'm using wire and beads that I already own. Ew, my hair looks greasy. I swear it's not. I swear to you. It's just one of those days. I might make some flowers to stick on there. I had these earrings. Imagine that. That's peak. Like this one, it's okay. This one's the best. Tiny flower. I'm still gonna use it.
And welcome to ASMR time with Gory Pickle. Oh, the budget has increased this year. Yes, it has.
Ew. I'm just gonna glue these on, you know? I'm just going for it. You shouldn't think, you should just do it. It's freaking Zentangle up in here. You can't see it, but it says Gory Pickle. Boom. More. How can I add more? I'm just here to pop in and say it's perfect. Do you think you want the reveal? Oh, you want the reveal? I mean, I outdid myself with this one. Yeah. Shout out to freaking Granny's fans on Instagram. You're the GOAT for coming up with such an amazing frame. Should I add this? Oh, Miley Cyrus and her freaking dead pets, dude.
Welcome to Making Your Mix, where I make your mix, and today we are making these marionette puppets, as inspired by these two submitted by Mia and Zoe. I used Sculpey Primo polymer clay for this. You could definitely just use air dry clay, but I went for a combination of white clay for the main body and main like leg and arm pieces. But then for the head, I actually used translucent Sculpey for the first time, so kind of a first impression, and honestly it was kind of risky to do so because it was quite a complicated piece to make. So if it turned out not looking good, then that would have not been the best, but luckily it did actually turn out looking really cute, and this was definitely the perfect clay to use for this. Well, for my sort of skin tone at least. For the body piece, I just sort of went for this kind of like oval shape with a flat bottom. Then I rolled out a coil for the arms and legs and just cut out 2 pieces for each limb, slightly angling the piece that'll sit closest to the body so there is enough room for movement. And then I actually took those little diagonal sections I cut off and used those as my little shoes, just attaching those to the bottom leg piece. Also, if you're wondering why I ended up making 2 puppets, it's because the first one I filmed and then my phone ran out of charge, so I lost all of the footage. But it's fine, because you know what? You can never have too many Edens, am I right? Then, very importantly, remember to put in all of my eye pins before baking. I very nearly forgot. Almost nearly had to make a 3rd doll. That would not have been good. But once they were all baked, it was time to paint them, and instead of using acrylic paint for this, I used Posca pens, just because even though it's quite a big surface area, it just takes a lot longer to dry between layers of acrylic paint, whereas Posca pens dry literally within like 2 minutes, as well as obviously being a lot thinner and better for detailing, like adding the t-shirt designs, the faces, and I actually even used it to add like little blush and contour to my face makeup. And I also went in and gave them both a hairline, because I did end up using thread for the actual hair, but obviously didn't want any of the translucent clay to peek out underneath, so I just painted on a layer of black beforehand. Here were all of my pieces all painted, and then it was time to glaze. And I mean, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm not gonna lie, I would 100% recommend just using Mod Podge for this, because oh my god, individually glazing each individual side of every single piece of these dolls took literally weeks. I'm not even joking. But on the plus side, I did end up filming a YouTube video, which is out now if you want to go watch that, of all the behind the scenes of me making these dolls and all the other crafts that I got up to in the meantime while I was waiting for all of these pieces to dry. But anyway, I super glued the thread on in sections to make the hair, and then gave it all a nice trim at the end, even though the messy choppy hair is indeed accurate. Here are all my finished doll parts ready to attach together, which I just did with some jump rings. And then as for the actual puppet like mechanism, I guess I basically just made this up as I went along. I just cut out 2 pieces of wire for each doll, made 3 loops in each, and then cut out all of my pieces of chain to attach the dolls. I attached the head chain to the middle loop of both pieces of wire to keep those together, if that made any sense whatsoever, and then attached an opposite arm and an opposite leg to each piece of wire. And here were the finished puppets. I'm so proud of these. Leave your photo comments down below if you end up making this, or if you have any suggestions for this series, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's paint some trinket buttons. You'll know this wood clay is totally dry when it has a nice hollow sound and it doesn't feel cool to the touch anymore. And because this is wood, you can sand them as much or as little as you want. I like them on the smoother side because it makes it easier to paint. Gonna make myself a little color palette and get to these base coats. For the first coat, I'm just doing solid colors from my color palette. You just want to make sure to get into all the little nooks and crannies, and especially into the buttonholes themselves. I'm using an array of earthy, leafy, foresty colors, adding this robin's egg color as well, and then just adding a light wood color to these other shapes that I made. Once all the tops are dry, flip them over and paint the backs. Now my favorite part, the dry brushing. Don't use nice silky brushes, use kind of a cheap bristly brush. This is gonna be better for dry brushing. I'm gonna start with this iridescent color and just see what this does over this dark green. Ooh, I think it's gonna make it look so cool. Just keep brushing super, super lightly until you get the look that you like. Here's an example of just doing a lighter color as the base coat. This works great, it gives it nice dimension. You don't have to dry brush with just one color, you can do multiple colors. For this one, I started with a chartreuse and then I'm adding kind of a lighter blue color and then a darker color in the middle. Why not? I'm just gonna zip through the rest of these, but basically just have fun, add unexpected colors, and if you use all the colors in your color palette, it's gonna immediately be cohesive even when you experiment with all different combinations. They're still gonna look like they're in the same cute little button family. Oh, look at the cute buttons. All right, now let's seal them up with Mod Podge. It's really just important to get into all those little crevices so it's nice and protected. Use a tiny brush to get into those buttonholes. We want the whole thing to be sealed up. And then when the tops are dry, do the backs, same with the small brush in the buttonholes. And then they're basically all done. Now let's put them on a little strand of twine. For the 4-hole buttons, this is how I like to do it. I'm gonna put each end of the twine through 2 of the buttonholes, pull that through, flip it over, and then we're going to cross that twine over. So put one tail in the opposite hole, the other tail in the opposite hole, make a nice little X. And then on the back, I'm going to pull this loop up and tuck the ends of the twine through and pull tightly. And that way it hangs nice and straight. Tie a little knot and voila. For the 2-hole buttons, I'm going to fold a piece of twine in half and then start with the folded loop end. I'm going to put that through one of the holes through the back and then loop it through from the front. We get a little loop on the back, tuck those tails into that loop, pull tightly, and voila. For the 3-hole button, I'm going to put each end of a piece of twine through 2 of the holes, pull that through, and then put both tails through the 3rd hole. And then I'm just going to make a little triangle with the twine by putting the tails through those initial first 2 holes, flip it over, and then I'm just going to feed the tails of the twine through each of the 2 loops that we formed on the back, pull it tight, and there we go. I'm really happy with how these turned out, so let's drop them in my thimble basket and off to the fair we go.